Okay. But this Brisa Harei Omer. But Arkevis Carbon Hashem. It's a David Tamid. This is when they came back from the war against Midian. And I'm saying by Midbar. So they brought back the various forms of jewelry. Tabas Vagib Chumaz Chaper Nafshoseinu Lifnei Hashem. To atone for themselves. Etzadazu be ris. Rashi says, Chaim Kanievsky says that Biris is Smidim Shorego reg, I guess anklets we call them nowadays. Samid Elu Hashirin, which he says are bracelets. Agil Zed Fushel Dadin. This is kind of like a bra type thing. Kumaz Zed Fushel Beis Arechem. This is corresponds to the genitals. He says here in the bottom, they would pierce the walls of the womb. The doors kumaz. They would stick this through. Like they would pierce the ears. Now I always thought that it's like a decoration, but here he says it's kadesh lo yistachu lehem as like a chastity belt. It somehow prevented other men from having relations with them. Okay, which is a finish to me. Okay, but anyway, why did they bring all this stuff? To atone for themselves. Moshe, what is this thing that you kapara for? Is Reb Chaim maybe went back to your negative behavior by shitim liznosis b'nos Moab when you had relations with the daughters of Moab. Hashem kachasisa midyam, maybe that's what you did by midyam. Kachadam tzin kapara. That way you require kapara. Amalo said, "Lo nifkan l'nemish." No, they said, which normally we understand to mean nobody dies. Nobody died, right? That's the Pashup Shan pasuk. But Ruchaim says, "Lo nifkan means lo nechsar midas yudis." We didn't do anything non-Jewish. We didn't do anything inappropriate. Okay. Amalo says, "In ke kapara zulama." So I need kapara. Amalo said, "In midei buried tzanu." We didn't commit any sins. A hero related tzanu, but thoughts we had. So your chazal derived from anybody touches the small finger of a woman, it's as if he's touching the genital. So he says the Reb Chaim, that's why they brought these jewelry, the kapara, because the jewelry evidently brings about the hirurim. What's the point of jewelry? To bring about the hero, and that's why it's a chiddush to me. So I never learned it that way. I assume that the jewelry was not necessarily what brought them to Yehurim, but the kapara was to bring the jewelry. But he links the two together. Tabas lama, ring wide. Tabas lama view. So in other words, it says here they brought all this other stuff, which seems to be much more alluring than a ring. Like the anklet and the bracelet, and certainly the bra and the genitals. Okay, I understand, but what about the ring, right? So I understand the other jewelry, which was intimate, because they had these inappropriate thoughts. But the ring, I guess those two also. He says the bracelet and anklet, they're also lama view. And the Karamusa, for here they said that's Kadosh Isha. No, the ring was on the finger. That means even the finger, if you look at the wrong way, it's as lasciviously, then it is a negative thing as if you're looking at her private parts. Okay? Says Gemara, came to Moshe, her glucose of Charbataf, they brought back, a bunch of captives, right? The children, women and children. So Moshe Rabbeinu said, kill all the males among the children. And every a female had relations with a male also killed. How do they know? They brought them in front of the tzitz. The Sula ain't paranam marikos. The Sula would not, somebody had no relations, her face would not turn green. Panam marikos. A woman had relations, the person would turn green. The Amar similar Avera Hadrokan. A sign of Avera is Hadrokan. Hadrokan evidently is some sort of jaundice which causes the face to turn green. I wonder if that's a sexually transferred disease. I don't know.
Sometimes green means yellow.
Yeah, I know. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know what it is. Okay, so the Reb Chaim explains just Pamrikas Avdavka Bu'ula Ella Beruili Boil. It makes it more Ivamas. But when it says not just women who had relations, but women who were at the I don't know what it means exactly, but at the age or at the stage of being suitable to have relations. Okay, and next is self-explanatory. Similar to Drokan, Shaveri Bo, Conservator Bachol by Drokan Bolo, Yarkus Panim. This is illness which comes as a result of Avera, is a greenish face. So again, it could be that it's a natural thing if it's some sort of sexually transmitted disease. Brisa, I'm talking about Ikva Shal Isha. So it looks even the heel of a woman, have a bunny bali woman. Mimei Iman. It's addressing language. You give them, he has children who have birth defects. Chigrim, Sumim, Ilmim, Chershin. Blind children, lame children, blind children, mute children, deaf children. So it's a very strange Bryson. It's very difficult for them to understand because it would seem that it's the parents' fault from here. And clearly, this doesn't seem to be anything in line with what the parents might have done wrong. But presumably, the answer might be, and I don't know if this makes any better, but this child had to be born this way. But why was this child born to these parents? So these parents, they did something which caused them to give birth to this child. Again, it's a very difficult thing to understand, but maybe that's a little bit more palatable than saying the parents are the cause for this. So, so why they happen? So Rabbi Lezer, they should cover them. She wanted to have relations with him, and she refused to have and he refused to have relations with her. The recalcitrant husband caused the problem. No, that's wrong.
It doesn't sound right.
No, I got it backwards. Okay, Chaim says, she's not happy. He was Tovea. He demanded relations, and she didn't agree. And he raped her. So, raping his wife causes these conditions to come. Shomer, she tells her time relations. I'm compelled to have relations. She seems interesting. What's the machine first and second shot? Second, Chaim says we'll explain. Rabbi Akiva meant nation Mitzaprim B'Sina Schina. Okay, I guess because before that relations, they were talking matters of Sina Schina. So either talking means talking to themselves, or Misap means that they're having intimate interaction with each other. Right? Either they hate each other or they hate others. That's what the Chaim says. So, but Lamaisa, it sounds like for Chaim, but that they're verbalizing the Sina Schina. We know that having hate each other is also a big problem, whether they verbalize it or not. So let's see the Gemara. Amar Rava uvi ishto amru. It says Chaim, Hadam Mislaka Bikva Shel Isha Amar Dahav Labanim Balim Mumim. I feel Bikva Shel Ishto Shelo Amru. Rava said not even allowed to look at your own wife lasciviously. Now, I think before we said this is when she's in Nida. But this is not here. The Gemara doesn't mention that. The Gemara just says, right? It's not possible. He says, the guy says, okay. El Dechi Dami. So what's the shot? Bibia. It's about Bia at the time they're having relations, and like we'll learn later on. As that's if she conceives in those relations. Now, let's see the rest. Kind Bia b'shas Bia the also talk about Ishto. It could be Kama by Pirkan Inamination Midos. I'm going to learn later on 9 other deficits which happen. Who at the end of the so it's a very strange statement, obviously, and I don't have a simple shot in it. But this is uh, I think according to the Rabbanon, according to those Rava, it means that he's looking at another woman at the time of Bia, or maybe even having
Okay.
thoughts of another woman, because Rava says Ishto Amru, right? And they said that so Echidami ben Bia is talking about where he has relations with her, but is thinking about somebody else. Okay, so the time of Bia, he is because it says he can't be talking about his own wife,
Mhm.
right? So it's about somebody else's wife, I think. Of course, it's not simple pshat what it's saying, but otherwise it's very hard to understand what the pshat is. Okay, Rabbi Lezer Omer, Minesh Tova, etc. Hatarvai bonus kakasti. They're both about honest, but Michael Mifnei, what's machlokas? Mars about honest the kame bio the karim. It's the compelling before relations, which is the problem. Mars about man biogarim, it's compelling during relations, which is the problem. It says Reb Chaim, Hatarvai honest. Rabbi Lezer be sure Tarvai made honest kagarim. They'll both think that it's the rape which is at fault the ba'mum. Michael Mifnei, that's machlokas. Marsa ba Rabbi Lezer holds honest kame bio the garim. That got b'shas beyond these ratzes. Even though by the time they get to relation, she's okay with it. Came Shnivla b'toch ones, since they began with ones, growing with Bali Mumin, because of these Bali Mumin. Okay, said Yaseh, what you do? If I saw, you have to appease her, you shall learn B'dvarim and try to persuade her verbally, as opposed to physically. Rabbi Yeshua holds my being honest, the B'shaz Bia Atzma Barim. If at first you have to compel her, but at the time you have actual bia, she's okay with it, you're fine. Okay, but Rabbi Lezer holds no bia. It's like tchilas of b'shia sofa b'ones. You began in a criminal way, but you ended in no, it's not a good. Never mind, scratch that. Okay, Rabbi Nechemi Omer, v'avon sinas chinam. Ishto shel Adam ma'peles nefalim. When I made some time in Riva ba Rabba besoch besa. But I've ever seen us and presumably it's like Reb Chaim says, it's among themselves, right? So she miscarries, the children die young, and there is a great strife in the household. Bishlama says Gemara, Bishlama Riva. Sinaschim Goreres Reef. Sinaschim causes that. The scene says, Sin auto rare midanim. Hatred arouses fights. And my pacifying minolan. I would know that it causes miscarriages. The scene says, Shavi cases benechem. For naught I smote your children. Al iske shav. What is shav? Shav means things which are for naught. But things are not sinas chinam, a sinner for nothing. The Chaim says, "Keshav darish krolish b'shavi kesi." Dakamar al iske shav had a sinas shav, a sinner for not. He case not he claims mechem. That's why I smote your children. Okay, next brisa. This. I don't know if the Tisha Midos here, but this is. I think it's the Tisha Midos. Anyway. Four things Malach told me. Anyway, the name Havion. Why do they have lame kids? Because they be upside down, a woman on top. She was talking about because they look at the genitals. It'll mean mute children because they kiss the genitals. Why do you get deaf children? Because they talk while they're having relations. Okay, it says Reb Chaim, no, so he means according to him it's anal relations because they have anal intercourse. The Yeshiv portion, some say in his hilamala hulamata, she on top and he on the bottom. Okay, Masha Gemara. This is Gemara seems to say. Gemara first, Kulam, the Mida connected Mida, how this works out. It's the sabotage Shas Tashmish, also the sabotage of Shas Tashmish, Elmiyane Tashmish. They can only talk about matters that have to do with relations. They should think that to be Shacharis. So that he shouldn't think of another woman. Which is, like I said, the problem in the previous Gemara. Amarava, coming to subject of Baruch Hu Mida connected Mida. Havach Shulchano, you turn your table, you have Fachra Glozaro, your kid's legs are turned backwards. Now, literally, it becomes lame. He looks at the erva, which is something which is hidden from all. Therefore, everything is hidden from his children. Who was our per medaber? Shabo nitna nashika. He left the speaking mouth, which is where you're supposed to kiss somebody. And kiss the closed mouth. His children's mouths are closed. He talks when he's supposed to be silent. That's where his children's ears are silent. Why is the cheresh called a cheresh? Shehu choresh. Means he's silent. Yes, somebody who can't hear is also silent. See, Bachrish Yaakov Aboam. That was silent until the Shvatim came back. Amarav Hu Hani Di Abra Mehaibia. It's only we had relation, only if she could see from those relations. Which that's why Rebbe Chaim says it's Mashal Gemara that the turn on the table is her on top, not having, because otherwise no conception would occur. Okay, says Rebbe Chaim called me does because probably can meet up the parish ownership. And Prussian Bias comes to explain the punishments which are specified here. And I think the rest of them are self-obvious. Okay. You want to stop here? You want to go to the next price?
Okay.
Next price?
One more.
What?
Yeah, one more.
This is the way we pass it. And look, Rabbi Yochanan in the boy. We ignore the previous price. A crow wrote to Ishto Yaseh. Rambam brings down Locha. Anything you want to do to your wife, you do. It's like the bus of Amina Tabach, like meat which comes from the butcher. I don't know if women like this mushroom so much. What's when eat it on coals, eat it. What's when it was salt, eat it. Another analogy, in case you don't like the first one, is a fish which comes from the fisherman. When he was salt, eat it. Grilled, roasted, fried, whatever. When it grilled, they eat it that way. Okay, so anything you want. So he says here in the Bryce, in the Reb Chaim, I don't think this is what necessarily true according to the Rambam, but he says that El Mutar Lo Ma Focus Shulchano Avashar Lo Poli. Right? It only argues on the turning the table upside down. So I'm not sure that's true, but let's see what the Gemara says. So this is Rabbi Yochanan says to Reb Chaim. I'm sorry, it's flat. The radio is like this. My time of the Rabbanon says Reb Chaim. He was saying the name of the angels who are authoritative. You know, Bakir's favorite source of blood. My time of the Rabbanon. Why wouldn't Rabbanon concede the points? Good point. Asurim haim. So the Rabbanon said no. Rabbi Yochanan said since the Malachim told him those things, it's also to do them. Okay, that's what he says. Come Rabbi Yochanan Sim Kishnu. Come Rabbi Yochanan Avoy Shana Bam Iser. Shasam Mavach Shul Shana. Bazam Rabbanon. No, it's not true. Kikar Marta B'Shmei Malach Yeshua is Hachihu. Yes, it is true. The Iser Aser ain't Iser. It's not forbidden though. Amalu Odi.
Whoa. Also, ain't it your life, Auntie? What's going on here?
What?
What are they saying? It's allowed, it's not allowed, I don't follow.
According to Lesman Davai, it's not allowed. It's not allowed because Ma'oradom it causes negative repercussions. Rabbanan said no, it causes negative repercussions, but it's still allowed. It's not an issur.
Okay,
Okay, that's it says. You're right. Miu, usher, and issur. Prohibition, there's no prohibition. Amar lo, they said to them, Odali the Mishum Hachi, concede to me that these are the reasons. Right? So for these things to recur. Teda the Usve Rotza. And you should know this is true because they respond Rotza. Let's see Chaim. Amar B'Yochanan Asurim Haim. Shinui Klamar B'Yochanan Devay Shana B'Hem Isur Shasu Lo Dam Avach Shulchan. Zemer Rabbana Ki Kamar D'Chuli Hachi Shev Shashi Aziklo. They will damage him. Shilu B'Nau Chigrim. Meir Ain't Isur B'Davar. There is no prohibition involved. Teidad Lo Pli Rabbana Elanina Isur Shishon Reyochem D'Boy. The Ka'ose Rotza, the Koenig Shulam Mibasar Bamin Tabach. They asked him from, which comes from the butcher, but Dagban Bassett side. He said the Rotza. Didn't say it's a good thing. They said, but if he wants to do it, he can do it. She said Rotza Yikshulo. Klamar Rotza Chlokach. You can eat fish or meat in a way which is damaging to your health. We're still allowed to eat it, right? So therefore, Rotza, you can do what he wants. So it says, why do you give this? Why you give the second marshal? The first marshal should be enough. Reb Chaim says, I have to give the second marshal as well. So it's interesting. I'm sorry. First, they said the muscle from the meat. Okay. They said, said the limitations. You can't do anything you want with meat. You can't eat basar b'cholav. So let's say brought the example of fish, you should even eat with milk. Maybe ways it's us to have relations. Which means we just like eat fish with meat and with milk. So to you're allowed to have relations any way you want. Okay, I see the next few rises are also about these concerns. Okay.
What's the halacha? How does that work?
Halacha is that most of these things don't apply. I mean, we don't assume that they're awesome. So it's a midas chasidus. That's a basic.
Okay. Interesting.
So that's what the Rambam says, and that's what most people pass. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Bye bye.
Bye.